Welcome back to the podcast. On this episode, I have Nathan Johnson of Fox Lake. And we talk about a lot of things, including him teaching music courses to kids and how that intersects with touring, growing up as a homeschooled, non-denominational Christian kid, and how the family Christian bookstores provided a gateway to the scene. If you have any ties to the solid state tooth and nail scene in the early to mid 2000s, this is a must listen. We definitely mentioned Project 86, Chasing Victory, Emery, Blindside, and a lot more. We talk about how sick the Emo's Not Dead cruise was, and additionally my experience at the Warped Tour in DC. Their brand new album New World Heat, which is the band's debut for their brand new label MNRK Heavy, which drops on August 1st. The ways the band has leveled up, especially in the last couple of years, and just how cool it is to just like things and be passionate and just enjoy what life has to offer. So if you like the podcast, definitely do tell a friend, whether that's in person or on social media. Definitely head over to SeatGeek, where first-time users can get $20 off their first-time order using promo code DENNING at checkout. Also, the fine folks on emosnotdead.com are offering all podcast listeners 20% off of their entire order using promo code DENNING20 at checkout. Again, DENNING20 for 20% off their order. I want to give a big shout out to emosnotdead.com and SeatGeek for helping support the podcast. And with that being said, this is my chat with Nathan Johnson of Fox Lake. Enjoy. And we are rolling. But yeah, you said you were coming off work.
Yeah.
Now, are you teaching piano, or are you teaching something else, or?
Yeah. How do you know? That's awesome.
We got to know, man. Like it's.
Yes. I So when I'm not on tour, I teach private music lessons. So, I teach piano, beginner guitar, and then more and more I'm starting to teach like songwriting and production and theory and things like that, which has been really cool for me because like that's what I enjoy piano, but like, like a 7-year-old, 6-year-old's about as early as I start. And that's a lot of my students is like just that young demographic. And a lot of people who want to learn songwriting or production or something are a lot older. So yeah, I enjoy that a bit more.
Yeah, how do you get plugged in with getting your own like business off the ground with teaching? Is it like through word of mouth, or is it through like Facebook Marketplace or wherever?
Yeah, dude, everything I've done up to this point is all word of mouth. Like I've done some advertising and just seen nothing from it, you know? So I'm like, okay. I kind of, I'll get into like a low season, and just as soon as I'm thinking like, oh, I don't know what to do. It's just like, everyone's like, I got this friend or whatever. So it's all word of mouth. And I think eventually I'll probably start promoting it more, maybe like from the band, like songwriting lessons or something like that. But for right now, it's just, I've had students with me for like, at this point, some of my students I've been teaching for like 9 years now.
Yeah. And so when you're teaching guitar, it's like, how do you start that off? Is it like, okay, we're going to count in 4/4, just tapping on the floor?
Dude, even like so many, you would be surprised, like so many students, whether it's piano or guitar, like take guitar, for example, it's like 2 weeks to memorize like Even American Dogs Grow Big Ears. And learn like the names of the strings, right? Like E, A, D, G, B, E, right? And then teaching like what the fret is, and it's a half step, and the difference between a whole step and a half step, so it's even before you get to like 4/4 or something, there's a good like month or two, depending on the age, there's a good month or two in there where it's the basic stuff.
Because did you learn guitar because I know you did piano like from like what, age 5, 6?
Yeah.
But like, when did guitar come into the picture? Was it like much later, or?
Yeah, it was. I learned guitar in high school, and then it's always kind of been a passion project for me. Basically, just playing like chords and acoustic stuff. I don't like metal guitar is so different from like acoustic guitar. So like I can play acoustic guitar and I'm like trying to learn metal guitar,
Yeah.
but they're literally it's the same instrument but like barely. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like we came up like similar pathways here. Because I learned in middle school, and I had a teacher that was like, "Oh, what do you guys want to learn?" And we're like, "Sum 41, Blink 182," and he goes, "No, absolutely not. You're gonna learn Cream and Stevie Ray Vaughan, and here's
Harder
the
stuff.
slowest. Here's And Nothing Else Matters by Metallica because it's like a picking pattern for 3 minutes."
Oh, right.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, like the boogie woogie cowboy core progressions too, like the
Sure.
yeah. But I was like, oh man, like, but I'm so glad I learned that because I understand music that much better and I can appreciate what's going on.
Right. That's what I always tell my students. So again, I've taught music now for like I think I'm coming up on 12 years.
Yeah.
And it's always been like my main gig, right?
Which is awesome.
What I've seen the whole time, dude, is the parents will get the kids in anywhere from like 5 to 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then usually around like 9 to 11, they quit because of one reason, and it's sports.
Mm-hmm.
They want to do more soccer. They want to do, and you know, like, especially here, like where I am in Colorado, it's a lot of like upper middle class to like upper class. Like, so they're like, we're going to put our kid in soccer here and do club, but also swimming and also this, right? So the arts really get drowned out with sports. And I can't tell you the amount of people who tell me like, man, like I didn't like it when I was a kid, and all I wish is that I would have kept doing it. You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, dude, that's everybody. Everybody who, if you can just get past like that ages of like 11 to 13, if you can like power through it, all of a sudden they kind of like come into their own person and they realize like, I'm like good at something over that nobody else is in like my age group or my friend group or whatever. And that's how you like make musicians. It's like you got to power through, you got to teach the basics for a few years. You got to power through times when it seems boring. And then like all of a sudden it's going to click and you're going to be like so good. You know what I mean?
Do you get any pressure from parents where like you take like club sports, for example, like parents will live through their kids? Do you see that with the music side of things where it's like, man, I really wish I would have learned piano or guitar and like, I really need my kid to get this?
Not so much. I think there's a huge leaning away from the importance of art in kids these days, and so I think sports coaches will get that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think anybody gets to age 20, 23, 25, 30, and they're like, man, I wish I really would have learned to do this soccer drill. They really wish they would have kept on learning piano.
Yeah.
Or guitar or something for music, because like sports have such a half-life, you know? But you can play piano for your entire life.
But even just like understanding and like appreciating what it is, like even if you don't play it.
Right. And so I'm not a music teacher who emphasizes perfection or excellence, but I do emphasize like a love of music, right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I base like my studio around, and you know, I help like 6-year-olds write their own songs, and like or like right now, like I'm helping this 18-year-old work on her college auditions, and she's playing Chopin and Mozart, and some Dvorak, you know, so it's a range, but I do think there's a moving away from the importance of arts and music, which is a bummer to see, because I just think kids, like, they're in great shape and they're active, and those things are so important, but like there's such a shelf life there, you know?
But every now and then I feel like, especially with social media, I see these random accounts where it's like, yo, this is my 13-year-old, and this account is being managed by his parents, and this is him like doing vocal covers.
Yes, dude, we
Yeah.
toured with one of those guys.
Really?
Yes. Before I tell this story, rest in peace to Adam from Dropout Kings.
Yeah.
We've done 2 like month-long tours with Dropout Kings, and so obviously when people ask me about touring, the number one thing I say is it's like summer camp, because you don't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
You're around them every single day, all day. You become like close, and then you never see them again.
Yeah.
You know? So you just become close to somebody. Like, yes, I only hung out with them for 2 months, but like it was every single day, all day. And dude, that was a big one. That was a bummer, dude. I remember the last conversation I had with him was a sad one, and I was like, dude, like, let me know if you need any help or you need someone to talk to or whatever. And so that's been hard to deal with personally, but to the point, one of the tours we did with them, their drummer couldn't do it, and so they brought this guy on called Wrecker, and he's like, I think he was 12 or 13, and he's like a ripper drummer, like really good, but he was managed by his mom and dad. His mom and dad came on tour. He had like a separate merch booth outside of Dropout Kings, and like everything was like, I don't know. I mean, he was a really good drummer, but everything was pretty performative, and I don't know.
I kind of want to see like a venue try to settle with a parent for merch, like, oh, hey, we're gonna like take 25% of gross here.
Right, 25% of Wreckers, the one shirt he sold. Yeah, but yeah, you see that all the time, dude. Like if kids stick with the music, like there's such a leg up, especially now because like music programs are being cut from school.
Mm-hmm.
Parents don't prioritize the lessons, and it's like, dude, if you get like a formal education, with theory and different things, like as a kid, you're gonna have like job prospects, which is awesome for this younger generation, and for my generation it wasn't that way, so I did all that and have just had to grind my life out.
But at 12 years, I mean, like, you're good. Like, you don't have to worry as much. You come home from tour, your schedule's open again, and then there's no one to really answer to.
Yeah, it is nice because I do make my own schedule, and also a lot of my students are, and parents,
Mm-hmm.
Just gotta teach kids, right? So and I've taught adults and whatever, but normally when I'm home I teach kids, and the parents have been really cool about, like, I'll do video lessons on the road.
Okay, yeah.
And that's been cool. It's tough because like you drive for like 6 hours and then you get there and it's a rush to load in, and you have like an hour before doors, and I'm like, I get 2 lessons in, and I'm working and I'm driving, and then I'm like working the show, and then the show's over at like midnight. I go to bed, and I'm like, I think I'm working on tour like 16-hour days every day. But
yeah, I mean, I can imagine, like, even like with vocal rest too, where I mean you can't really say much.
Dude, something interesting about vocal rest is the show never gets me. The show's never good. Dude, it's 30 minutes. Anybody who, like, and I'm not saying, like, vocal nodes and things like that don't happen for, like, constant touring, but, like, to me, and what I've been told and what I know is, like, if you have good technique, like, you should never, ever really have a vocal node, a vocal problem. If you're sick and you push it, problem. If you're playing like 1.5, 2-hour sets every night, and you're doing that for 6 weeks straight, you're gonna strain. We play for like 25 minutes a night. Like,
yeah, I saw that.
Dude, I'm not. No, come on. It should never affect you as a vocalist if you're doing that. What affects me and why I have vocal strains is because I run our merch. and it's yelling at people over the music to talk to them
Oh
with
wow.
merch or just what's up. That will fry my voice.
So it's Chop Suey that's really doing you in then.
Yes. Yes. That's what
Isn't
it
it funny?
is.
You go to the same venue. You go like there are all these different venues. It's like the same track list every single night.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Chop Suey again. Oh, it's Sandstorm and
Right. It's the same songs, and then even on our last two tours, I think we've just gained popularity pretty quickly. And so like we play and then we have a line of merch like after we play until through the next band's set. So it's not only the house music, but it's like the other band's set.
yeah,
I always say the same thing, like which one, what size, card or cash. You know, like even just things like that, like over and over and over and over, like really will fry my voice, which is kind of crazy to say because everybody listens to screaming music and they're like, "Gonna hurt your voice." I'm like, no, but yelling at people all night at the merch booth does.
yeah, I get that. I mean, because I think it was like Leo Sobniewski. Yeah, he uploaded a set from like this year. I think it was March.
Oh, at the Cane Hill.
Yeah,
Was
that's
that in
always.
Cincinnati? Was that the guy in Cincinnati? He does a bunch of
Uh,
live sets.
yeah, let me see. Yep, that is Cleveland, Ohio. I
Cleveland,
think.
that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, shout out to Leo, man. Leo's great.
yeah. He does a bunch of bands. He's really good too.
He is really good. He's been doing it for a while. Like it really helps a lot. Like because I mean, do you work out at all when you're at home?
Yeah,
Or yeah, I mean, just turn it on the side and just let it rip for 30 minutes.
right. Exactly.
Because I mean, yeah, if you're doing cardio for an hour, it's like you might as well just be doing something. But yeah, man, dude, it was funny. I was also looking into like your background, and you came up through the Christian non-denominational scene as well. So
Yeah.
Solid State, Tooth and Nail, that was your jam growing up.
100%, dude. They're Only Chasing Safety by Under Oath was the first record that I bought with my own money.
Oh
I had
wow,
the vinyl unopened, framed in my bedroom. Yeah. So, yeah, dude, that whole scene. Yeah, because I grew up pretty strict. And so my parents kept an eye on the music I was listening to.
yeah,
And so I wasn't allowed to listen to, stuff growing up that was not Christian music. And so I found what I liked. And like, it's crazy too, because I was homeschooled. So I was
okay,
homeschooled, like uber Christian, traditional, and like, you would think, it's just amazing how like heavy music finds you if you like it, if it's meant for you.
yeah,
Like, dude, I just did. I was at the family Christian bookstore and I bought Under Oath CDs. I bought Devil Wears Prada CDs. I bought the Chariot CDs. I bought Impending Doom. And like this was when I was like middle school,
yeah.
I was listening to Impending Doom. And like, I don't know, dude. I just always liked it. Like people always ask like, like my other job when I'm at home is I play classical or jazz piano out at like restaurants or events or whatever.
Okay,
They're
that's
like,
tight.
how did you like? Why did you do like heavy music? And I was like, I don't know. Since a kid, since I was like not old enough to like express my opinion, I was just like, I love this.
It's a community thing though too. It's like you go out to shows. Like I started going when I was 12, 13, and then I go, "What's up, man? Like how you doing?" Like
Right. Yeah, dude, and that's how I found like being homeschooled, like that's how I found a community. And also like it seemed like a lot of my homeschool friends also loved that. And so I remember being at like my buddy's house and he was like, "Dude, check this out." And it was Rage Against the Machine, which obviously I wouldn't have been able to listen to.
yeah,
And I was like, like the most incredible thing I'd ever heard. And yeah, listen to them since.
Okay, so did you have? So you brought home CDs from the store, and you had to like explain what they were to your parents.
No, if we bought them from the family Christian bookstore, they knew it was Christian and they didn't ask me questions.
Okay, because like I had like conversations with people like, "Whoa there, champ, hold on, like this Project 86 CD, like what is he doing?"
Project 86, dude.
Dude, he's holding a knife behind his back. Like what?
I have been listening to Oh my God, what's that project? So on this new record, we made like a playlist, like a short playlist
Yeah.
of like what are our inspirations for this record? And Project A, dude, hold on. I'm so pissed at myself that I'm blanking on the song. What a pull, dude. Project 86.
Are you
What
referring
an
to the Spy Hunter?
Spy Hunter, yes.
Yeah, that video was like
Yes, it's Spy Hunter. So
it's still
Spy Hunter
iconic.
was on our playlist of inspirations for the record because I was like, listen, they write a song around two riffs.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole thing is two riffs, and it's like expanded on or it's muted strings or like whatever. Dude, Project 86, good pull.
Shout out to Randy Torres, man. He was the one who wrote all that stuff.
Dude, yes. Also, in that same vein, I guess, is I got POD. I got a POD CD.
One of the goats.
And POD is like one of my goats for sure. Like, love Rage Against the Machine, love Limp Bizkit, love early Papa Roach, but like POD, damn, yes.
Well, and it's funny because like you know, POD is one of my top 3 favorites because they are very, very Christian band. But it was like it's always been described as like, hey, we're like men of God, but don't push us.
Yes, dude. There was I saw a show. Okay, so we played a festival. I want to say it was maybe Incarceration or it was maybe Louder Than Life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Aftershock. I don't remember. But we were like backstage, you know, and we were able to get like front of the barricade like photographers.
Yeah.
And we were able to make it for a little bit of POD. And like, I had enough drinks that day that I was sobbing listening to them. But one of the things they said was he goes like this. And he's like, I'm holding the devil's head up. He was like, the devil's moving and I'm holding his decapitated head by the hair.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And I was like, dude, that's hard as fuck. You know what I mean?
Do you ever Snuff the Punk?
Snuff the Punk?
That was one of their very earliest albums. It has like the album cover is like an angel holding a devil in a headlock.
Really?
Dude, it's super hard. It's super hard.
First thing I listened to them was like Southtown or whatever.
Okay, so that was one of the first big albums from them. But yeah, Snuff the Punk came right before that.
Incredible. Dude.
Yeah, I think it was like 97, but like it was like cassette tape era.
Sure.
Yeah, because they did like they did Brown, they did Snuff the Punk, and they did a live album. Have you heard of Tom Fest before?
No.
So Tom Fest was this Christian like alternative festival in Camas, Washington, and it was the goated festival. Like it was basically
like Tom's the Shoe.
No, Tom. It was stood for the other music. So it was like Project 86.
Okay.
As I Lay Dying would headline. MXPX. The Classic Crime.
PX?
The Showdown. Impending Doom. Sleeping Giant. Like
you are naming. If you go into my family room in my parents' house, I still have my bookcase and CD, and straight up, you will see MXPX, The Showdown, The Chariot, Devil Wears Prada, The Classic Crime, the record with the albatross on it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Dude, there's like those things are underrated. Dude, do you ever listen to Falling Up?
Yeah, they're from like 15 minutes away.
Are they really?
Yeah. I'm in Oregon, so I'm like
some of their stuff is so good. I mean, like really, really well written.
Yeah, lead singer, I think he is just kind of like working on stuff by himself these days, but he I grew up a lot working in like those shows and working at like what else is from here? But yeah, like that, it was a huge band growing up in this area because I mean I'm like 90 minutes south of Portland.
Okay, right. Okay, dude. Every time I talk to people like on tour about like things I grew up with, everybody's like, "Oh, I don't know," you know.
But yeah, I feel like it's
like or Limp Bizkit or Papa Roach or whatever, and I'm like, dude, you never you never felt the high from like Reliant K.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
they're such a punk rock band too. I remember bumping into Matt Thiessen one day. Did a short tour with a band like 10, 12 years ago, and we were in what's the city outside of Nashville? Franklin?
Maybe.
Yeah, and
yeah, Franklin is not far from Nashville, I don't think.
Yeah, the band I was at with, they was doing pre-pro, and Matt Thiessen walks out. Dude is so tall. So tall. Really? Dude, he's tall.
Oh, interesting.
Dude, yeah, he was, I mean, I didn't say anything to him, but like, I was like,
that's how he pulled Katy Perry.
Probably, man. Like, and like, talk about a bold record though, like, because that one record was like about him like having a divorce, and yeah.
Is that Good and Not Slow Down?
I believe so, yeah.
That is one of I'll go to my grave saying that's like the most underrated record. Maybe, I don't want to say ever, but like definitely like in any type of pop punk sphere, like people will know Reliant K from like the first few, Two Wrongs and but like I felt like people really fell off because they kind of matured and they waited a while, I guess. That record is unbelievable.
Oh, dude, for sure. And you know what's coming out, maybe not this year, but next year, is Blindside.
Blindside is coming back?
Yeah, well, they played Furnace Fest recently.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, them and Chasing Victory.
I got one for you. I got one. Wait, did you just say it? You say Chasing Victory?
Yeah.
I told somebody the other day, Chasing Victory, because everybody loves the first record, which is great, with the snakes and the drawers coming out of the stomach.
Yep.
The second record, Fiends, is one of the best rock records I've ever heard. Legitimately, like, the first riff on the first song, Chemicals, is so hard. It's unbelievable. Zombies, like, there's so many songs on that record that I'll just play like again and again and again and again.
Yeah, it's funny because like I was talking to someone on DM recently, and he brought up Dan Dobie. You know who that is?
No.
Dan Dobie was a fantastic music video director, and he did a lot of the early like Chasing Victory videos. Like, you ever going on your computer like and going into like the code and finding like the .move file extension and just downloading the file that way?
No.
So I had like a whole folder of just like .move direct downloads.
Okay.
So somewhere I have like a file drive of like, Chasing Victory videos, and like they're like the full on like 800 megabyte files.
Have you ever interviewed any of them?
No, dude, that's a good point. No. I mean, the Showdown, yes. That's been a long time, like at least 10 years. Yeah. Yeah, shout out to them. David's working in Tennessee at a auto mechanic shop.
Love it.
Dude, I love where they all kind of ended up.
I had this resurgence recently of like older bands that we always like look up to and like actually listen to as kids,
Yeah.
I feel like between like the inactivity of those bands and like, I don't want to say like hyperactivity of us, but kind of like the rise of my band, like there's some of these bands where I feel like we're on the same level, and it just feels like in the past few months, like we keep seeing bands be like, hey, you want to play a show together? And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Like these like revival bands, like the big one we're talking with right now, and I don't want to give away too much, but like is My Ticket Home.
Oh yeah, definitely do that one.
And like apparently they're fans of us, and we like they've always been a huge influence for us, and like the ability to like play over them, like them as direct support, we're like, what? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And Chasing Victory would be like maybe like the ultimate like deep cut band I could ever play with, like, because I think they only put out those 2 records.
Yeah, I believe so.
God, I've been.
But that's usually where it's at though. Is that you have bands like Chasing Victory that do 1-2. Dead Poetic does like 1-2-3.
Dead Poetic. Dude,
Yeah,
you're an OG. I know you're an OG.
I'm in mid-30s, dude.
Names and I'm like, we're the same. We're the same.
I grew up like watching Fuse and whatnot.
What's your favorite? Like, pick like the OG band that you're like, that's the band I'd die for.
If we're talking like top 3 bands, I would like
OG Christian band that you're just like, they will never be bad. I'd die for that band.
Oh, dude, POD for sure.
POD, really? Okay,
dude. POD, like as far as like my overall top 3 bands, I've always said POD, The Ghost Inside, August Burns Red.
Okay, I love that.
Yeah.
You ever get into Emory?
Oh, dude, I just saw Emory like what is it? So it's
they're doing
July.
shows again, right? They've been doing shows.
I just saw them twice this year.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I love it so much, dude. I haven't heard somebody say the classic Crime or Dead Poetic in years, and this is giving life to my soul. So I appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, man. I just saw so Matt Carter plays guitar for them. Like, yeah, I just bumped into him on the Emo's Not Dead cruise.
Okay.
Yeah, they played The Question front to back.
Oh my god.
And dude,
what a record.
Dude, that room they were in was way too small. Way too small.
Really?
Like, dude, you could barely see them. Cause okay, so the Emo's Not Dead cruise is like you can make something up. Like, oh, imagine if Warped Tour is on a boat, but like make it even better. Damn. And that's essentially what it is. Like each band plays twice for an hour. And yeah. Classic or Emory played The Question. They played like an acoustic set. They played I think maybe they did 3 sets. But no, it was awesome. Like,
oh my god, dude.
Yeah, this year is like Devil Wears Prada, Under Oath, August Burns Red.
Really?
Dude, who else? Copeland.
Copeland, dude. Those 2 records, if you play them simultaneously, unreal.
Well,
unreal work.
It's great because like my wife is very scene adjacent. She like is aware of what music is like that. But getting to see me like lose my cool at like 11 o'clock at night to August Burns Red playing a headliner on the boat while I've had like 5 mudslides, like, because that's also the thing. Like those drink packages are cheap.
Oh yeah. Oh,
it's like $55 a day.
You got to get one, and then, dude, I can imagine if you've been drinking all day. It's 11 o'clock, and August Burns Red plays Backburner. You're gonna lose your mind. Yeah,
there's only a few goals that you have to go. You go into it like, look, you're gonna eat a lot, you're gonna drink a lot, but you're gonna move a lot. If you're not hitting 25,000 steps a day, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
Like everyone who knows anything about that, like you go in the gym in the morning at like 7 o'clock, your head hurts, but you're doing like an hour and a half of walking, and then you're just going back and forth. Coffee, go to Starbucks, boom.
Right.
But it is the dopest tour, or like the experience that, Warped Tour is great. I just went to DC a couple weeks ago, and that was awesome.
Did you really?
Dude, it's super sick.
Do you have like a media pass or anything like that?
No, I just I had a invite from one of the bands.
Oh, sick. Which band? Oh my god.
And check it out, dude. The cell signal was so no one could get a hold of like anybody.
Really?
Yeah. I'd have a text go through like, it would go through like an hour later.
Everybody trying to upload content is like dying.
Yeah, dude. It was crazy because like the lineup couldn't have been curated any better. It was like Fever 333, then Drain plays, and then Let Live plays right after.
Okay, yeah. So just energy. Yeah,
dude. It was awesome. Like you couldn't have. I mean, they played longer than half an hour too. It was like some sets were like 30. Like I think like Gideon played for 30 minutes, and then you have a band like Romans will play for 40. August Burns Red will play for 40.
Yeah. That's so cool,
super sick.
Yeah, we're not able to go to any of the Warped Tours, which is a bummer this year. I think it was a bigger bummer, like we didn't get invited, like not that we were super expecting it, but I knew we were on the table for it. And
next year though.
Yeah, dude. Hopefully they keep doing it,
Yeah, get your agent to knock on some doors.
I know, right? Yeah, I think next summer it looks like, you know, all things considered, hopefully we'll do the whole festival circuit next summer.
Yeah, do the Danny Wimmer
Yeah,
incarceration, Rockville.
all the Wimmers and routing dates and into
Well,
hopefully work.
that's what you want. I mean, at this point, yeah. I mean, either one is fine.
Yeah, and we did the Wimmer circuit in 23, so we were a little bit. I think maybe our team didn't push for it as much, which is on us because we need to let them know. But I think we played it in 23, and we were just expecting it in 25 because as a smaller, like if you're not Korn, you expect the festival circuit like every 2 years because they don't want all the same bands every year.
For sure.
And so I think we were like, oh, sick. Like we hit that 2023 Wimmer Fest, and now we're in 25. We're going to have our whole summer booked out. And I think we said no to things just expecting it. And that was a wrong on our part.
I don't know. I feel like this is a good summer to kind of simmer, then hit it next year because, yeah, you're dropping an album in like 3 weeks.
Right.
Which is great.
And our fall and winter, like, I think once it hits mid-September, which is crazy the shit isn't announced yet, but once it hits mid-September, we're on the road almost constantly until like 5 days before Christmas.
Oh, that's perfect. I mean, the weather maybe not so much, but yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hopefully you're not stuck in the snow.
We'll be towards you. I think it's Spokane.
Spokane's way out there. Like it's like 6
Is that
hours.
out there?
Yeah, that's like a B market for sure. That's like 6-7 hours away.
Yeah, we're doing like BC markets with extortionists. A few dates with extortionists up that Pacific North.
Like a B market would look like Eugene, Oregon.
Eugene, I think, is in there.
Okay.
Or it was Bend. It was Bend or Eugene. I haven't seen the final.
Bend is also a B market. Yeah, but that's a little bit out of the way too. So.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, you're dropping a new album though in a few weeks. You must feel pretty jacked on that.
Yeah, dude. What a time. I mean, it's just the last, I don't know, year or so has been so crazy. The things that go into planning a record outside of writing it, what is the record going to be? What do we want to say? Who's going to record it? Who's going to mix it? How many days? Or days is wrong. How many weeks?
Mm-hmm.
How much money do we have to spend? Like all that aside, which takes forever to figure out, but like just like what is the record? Like what do we want the next few years of our lives to be? Is such a weird thing, dude. Like I think people, and I don't know, maybe people understand, maybe they don't, but like, dude, how do you write a song knowing that like you're going to post it all the time and you're going to play it all the time for the next like 3 years and then get to a point where you're like, I love this,
mm-hmm.
And not like, I'm so sick of this, or I don't feel this way anymore. Or, that's not the music I want to make right now. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm.
That's been such a challenge for us because every other release we've had. So our first like album, Silence and Violence, yes, it's technically a record, but they're 2 interludes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 6 songs. And then we released 4 songs with Lady Luck. And then we released 5 full songs with Fear and Loathing. So it's kind of like we've done, I think of it like EP, EP, EP.
Yeah.
Like, so this is kind of our first time going in. We're like, dude, we need 11 full songs. And we were really nervous about it. And I think the final product we loved at the start. And it has grown on us so much that we're just dying to release songs. Like we pushed the label to like, they were like, let's do 3 singles in the album. And we're like, can we please do 5? Like, I just want to get these things out. Like, I'm so excited about them, so I just think the record is so important to us and so personal for us, and like, in more than anything, like, dude, we just want people to listen to it and come like mosh and sing along at the shows, you know.
I feel like, okay, so context here. Bill DiCarcacillo,
Bill, dude, Billy
Yeah.
Bill.
He, out of anybody I've seen, he is the one person that has rode the absolute hardest for Fox Lake.
I love that, bro.
He had hit me up like on a number of occasions about like the really, really old stuff. Like I'm talking 2020, 21. You know, didn't really click on my radar. And then, you know, I checked out Fear and Loathing about a while ago, and I was like, oh my god, like I really, really, really wish I would have found this a lot sooner. Because I mean, do you feel like that was like kind of like the it really everything started to click, like a bass hit, and then
Fear and Loathing was a big one. So like, a brief history of the band is like, we were all friends, and I was in a pop band. I love pop music, but like, I was playing keys in a pop band, and that was like my main thing. We had distribution, and we were basically like writing songs for sync deals.
Yeah.
And I was like right out of college, and I was making like so much money doing that.
Love it.
And I was like, dude, like, I'll hang out with my friends and like write some breakdowns, but like, I'm not going to do that, right? Well, that band just broke the fuck up. Like, everything ended badly, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, okay, well, now let's really kind of push into Fox Lake. Because I didn't have a musical project at that time. And so I was like, let's push in, man. Like, we got some good songs. And so we like recorded the songs. Everything was sick. We shopped it to labels. We got a label. Big mistake, but it was Modern Empire, Stay Sick, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And we were like, sick, let's release it. And then COVID hit.
Oh no.
And like, and we kind of already had this plan in place to like put this out. And COVID hit, and we're like, well, let's just stick with it, push it back a little. Maybe, at that time, it was like, maybe the lockdowns will be lifted in a few weeks, or maybe we'll all be back. Maybe it'll be done, whatever, right? And so we put out the record in COVID. The first time we played the record live was like late 2021. We released our first record or release, and then sat on it for like a year and a half before we ever played it live.
Yeah, that had to. I can't even imagine.
And I feel like this just like it's a once in a lifetime like genesis of a band. I think, which is not to say like we're uber special or whatever, but like we did have that. We were able as a nobody band to release something at a time where people were only online, not going to shows and looking for music. And I think we're really blessed to like have had that visibility. But yeah, so we put out that record, and that was, dude, we were like fucking around. Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, we were like, what if we just made like trap metal wasn't like that big at the time, and we were like, well, what if we did like boom bap, And so we tried to do that, and like I figured out you can't write boom bap at like 175 BPM. And anyway, so like we love the first record, and there's some really good songs on there, but I don't think it's really exactly what we ever wanted to make. So we were like, oh, we need to be more metalcore. So then we did Lady Luck, and that's a lot more metalcore. And then it was like, damn, like we want to be more heavy. Mm-hmm. And so that's when we did Fear and Loathing, and it kind of blended those things of we want this rap kind of feel, we want this metal feel, and we want this heavy feel. And then Fear and Loathing was the culmination of those, and it really felt like we hit our stride with that.
Yep.
And then New World Heat to us is even like miles above it, because we were like, okay, we've got this down, but what are we missing is like the ultimate core of the band, which is nu metal.
Yep. That was how I would explain it too. Like you take everything that works with the Fear and Loathing, and then you crank it up. The production on this one is way higher.
Yeah.
It's cohesive, it fits, it flows. The other instrumental, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, did another instrumental. We were just trying to like play around with the record, and I was like, well, I might as well do another interlude like we've done it on everything else. And it fit so perfectly with the record too, because we did a few like a full master playthrough.
Yeah.
And we kind of felt like by about song 7 or 8, it was like too aggressive, like too urgent, too quick, too much. And we were like, what do we need? And it was like, dude, let me just make an interlude and call it halftime to give people a break. And also we were like, live, it's perfect. So we'll play that live at the middle of our set every night and just give people a breather, you know?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And the mix on this one is great. I mean, the guitars come through, they're crunchy. I kind of wish like you guys released like an instrumental version of stuff.
I think we might. I think it's in the talks right now. It's just an extra mastering cost.
Yeah, I get that.
The you know what's crazy is I've talked to a bunch of people recently, and they're like, this new record sounds so much better than the old one. And I'm like, yeah, it definitely than the old stuff. And I'm like, yeah, it definitely doesn't. Like, who did this one? And I was like, the same guy. The same guy. Connor from Mugshot has done all our shit the entirety that we've been a band, and he's just gotten better. Like, we've gotten better, he's gotten better, but the cohesiveness of like how we write and how we interact as a group, I think really shows through, you know, of like, we're just getting better together. You know what I mean? Like, we've been doing it for 5 years together now. And like, I love when people say like, this sounds so good. I'm like, sick, because it's the exact same process that we've done for every other release, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and I know that you guys are tight with Mugshot, and then Avoid, Silent Planet are also on the record as well.
Yeah.
Are those bands are also pretty tight with, or?
Yeah, we'd love to be tight with them, especially I think Silent Planet. Garrett is just the nicest dude that's ever walked the earth.
Uh-huh.
And we've played with Silent Planet a few times, but that was only like as like a local opener.
Yeah.
But I think he's kind of just followed the band or just aware of us, you know, in a general sense. And we were looking for guest features, and I was just like, dude, I told the guys, I was like, just like for shits and gigs, like, I'm just going to message him. And they were like, okay, I guess if you want to waste your time, you know, seeing if he's going to hop on our record. And he did. He was so gracious and generous and just amazing to work with. And he hopped on there. And then Benny from Avoid, also the same thing, generous and gracious and amazing to work with, but he was really last minute. We actually had this spot reserved and set and everything, and even wrote it for Loki from Alpha Wolf. And he was like, yes, I'm going to do it, blah, blah, blah. And just kind of like never did it. And they were on tour, and you know how things are.
Yeah.
And it just came down to like our hard deadline of like, we got to submit the record. And it just so happened like they were on tour, and we're like, I don't know, let's just do it ourselves. And then we were on tour, and we ran into Benny at a show, and he was like, let me hop on a track. And I was like, dude, does that help us out? And then Mugshot, obviously incredible. And then also I have to shout out Eyes of Salt, who's the other guest
that's right.
On our record. And we just have always felt such a tie to like, we all of us met in the Colorado metal scene, hardcore metal, whatever you call it, scene. And so we just felt like it was really important for us releasing this record to have a representation of another band in the Colorado hardcore scene on the record. And we all kind of were like, you know, we had so many options, and we were like, dude, but we all love Eyes of Salt. And so he was nice enough to jump on the record too.
Yeah, you know what? I like this record because it gets in, but it also gets out. Like, it's a good 35 minutes?
Yeah, dude, it's not long, which I think a lot of people have a problem with. Sometimes, like, you know, you release 5 singles and then there's like 4 more songs and the record's like 20 minutes. I think the record maybe almost hits 40 if I'm remembering right. But when we were listening back to it, we were really mindful of that. Like, we don't want to short the listeners, because I think a lot of comments we get are like, you guys only release like 4 songs every 2-3 years or something like that, and we don't want to be that way. That's not what we want. But we also don't want to release something that feels inauthentic, right? And so as we were listening through and writing this record, we were mindful of it, but every song felt like it ran its course perfectly. And so I feel like you get the songs, but you don't feel shorted, if that makes sense. Except for one, which we intentionally did, which is Real Fast, because the song is fast. It goes by real fast. And we loved it. Like, you get all the parts you want, and it's such a good song, you would think we should write on it more, and it just is over. And like, that was a fun thing for us to write and to do kind of on the record.
I mean, you get the guest features dialed in. Other than that, like, what are the most difficult aspects about writing this record?
Dude, I think just time.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people want things from bands, and they view bands as entities, which they should, but like, there's no money in the music industry, and so at a band our level, like, we all have to work jobs and find jobs that also let us like be gone half of the year. And so just even finding time to be like, oh, I'm going to take off more work to write or to record or to go up to the studio or whatever, like, puts such a strain on us, like, in like our livelihoods, in like our lives, and rent, and having kids or whatever you want to do. Like, we believe in this thing, and it's so important to us. Like, we keep doing it, but I think a lot of people are like, why don't you just release more music? And it's like, well, it costs $20,000 to make a record and about 6 weeks of time. So, you know what I mean? Like, so it's a little bit more difficult than I think people think. And I think that was the hardest part, like, writing the record, is we had plans to go up to, of course, I'm blanking on his name now, but I think his name was John. He recorded the new Story So Far record.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We were really going to go up and like do something different than we had done before. But Connor is such a pivotal part in writing with us. Like, we bring the demos or half a song or kind of a full song, and him writing it out, because he writes so much for Mugshot too. Like, that dude is the most insanely talented person on any instrument. And so having him in his house at his studio be able to write with us, I think made the record that much better.
Yeah, but maybe like the next record that you do, maybe you go somewhere else and kind of push a little bit further out. But like, it's,
I think so, but I think anything we do, we would bring Connor with us. I think Connor has been such a pivotal part. But then, like, anytime we go, it's like, well, is Mugshot on tour? You know what I mean? Like,
so timing is everything then,
right?
Even for like a week though, like, just fly him out and then boom.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that. Okay, so say someone, I mean, this is going to be a big deal for you guys, where I think you said like there was a huge kind of explosion of fans at the merch table in the last year or so. This album's going to drop, and then that's going to get even hotter and hotter and hotter. Like, what do you hope fans pick up after listening for the first time?
Dude, I hope fans just pick up that like the shows are crazy. Like, we do this so that we can connect with people and have them come out to shows, and so I think a lot of our music and a lot of like underground-ish kind of metalcore is like all about like the heavy part, and like we were like, dude, we want to create this urgency and this intensity with a record where people are like, I have to see it live. So on stage, I always encourage people to like, you don't have to hardcore dance, just dance, just gritty. I don't know, like, dude, like, I want every show to be like a dance party. I want like something new I've kind of started to say on stage is, I'm like, if you don't think this is a rave, like, you're wrong. Like, this is a dance party. This is a club. Like, we all came here to, like, listen, enjoy the music, and, like, there's going to be violent dancing. There's going to be crowd surfing. There's going to be a lot of different things. But, like, everybody just, like, move. Just, like, have a good time. Go to the bar. Like, so I think this record feels to me like a more exciting live record.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Wind Waker. That's another band that kind of like I feel like has that dance party vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you checked them out at all? Or
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job at kind of curating the dance
like,
party.
Like Drain, dude, like a bigger example of Drain.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we want our shows to be, and like who we want to be as a band is just like you anytime they're around you want to come out, because like that's why we do it, you know.
I hear that. Yeah, and then so you said you're pretty much touring heavily, like once the fall hits you're just going. Is that carrying on to next year as well, or?
We don't have anything booked right now for next year. I think a lot of our efforts right now with the team have been stuck in what we're doing right now. What is it, June? Yeah, so I think like after you get past once you get into a little bit of the early fall, you'll start booking some of those February, March tours. So yeah, hoping to get some of the big ones in the winter there, early 26, maybe hoping to get another Europe tour. That would be great.
All right, so like, you have a tour with Cane Hill, Mugshot, and so on and so forth, Gideon. Are those the bands you kind of want to like stick around with, or is there like other bands maybe outside of your, I don't know, nucleus that kind of you'd like to kind of dabble with, maybe like older bands?
Dude, I would go the other way. I would love to dabble in like newer bands that like we're really liking. I think some obvious ones are. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. They're about to like mow. People are about to mow this lawn. Can I pause you for just like 2 seconds?
Okay, yeah. So touring with younger bands.
Yeah, dude. Like, it's tough to say younger. I mean, obviously, Spirit Box, Knocked Loose. Bands like that, you know what I mean? Like,
established headliners that are like skewing.
Yeah, and I think just like things that are in the meta right now would be really nice for us. I know in the past few years, and again, I'm not talking any shit or anything, but we've gotten offers. It's like Me Without You, Norma Jean, Zayo. What was the other one from New York? There was like a old hardcore band from New York. I don't remember. But we're just like, I think a little bit what we're desperate for is like, to answer your question, like, yes, like Cane Hill, like something in that, like bands that are like currently doing it and killing it too. And yeah, I feel like we've really proved kind of our worth on these tours, and sometimes on, we're 2 of 4 and we just crush on the night. And so, yeah, dude, I think dream bands going into after the album cycle would be any of those type of, obviously Sleep Token, which they're probably never going to tour with a band as heavy as us, but like, yeah, like a Spirit Box, a Knocked Loose, our label mates, Callous Cowboys, dude. Like anything.
Yeah, that's a band. Oh my god, that's a band that has really, really, really taken off.
Dude, they've really taken off, and they deserve it. And like, I'm very happy for them. Dude, we were so excited. They sent us an offer for their headliner, and we were like 1000% yes. We're both releasing records like kind of around the same time. We're label mates. We're both on MNRK Heavy. All these things, and then we didn't get it.
Yeah.
And Unity TX got it, so you kind of get the the kind of same vibe there. But like, yeah, absolutely love that band. Yeah, so just things like that. I think we're really trying to push, in the meta type of bands, like, because they're popular, but also because I feel like that's just who we want to reach. And then there's this influx of like garage bands and art spaces and hardcore shows, and like, that's what we want. Like All American Rejects doing the house shows, and like, there seems to be this revival of like energy at shows. And I just think when you play with older bands, I don't know if you have that as much, and like, any of these newer bands, like that's the demographic we're trying to go for. Like that's the shows we want to play,
I hear that. Okay, so the album drops on the 1st, which is a few weeks out. I mean, pre-orders are up through Monarch, and then anywhere else?
No, just through Monarch. I actually literally got them today, and I was trying to do a video, like an unwrapping video, and then I ran out of time, but here they are. I haven't even
super sick.
Unwrapped it yet.
How many variants are we looking at here?
So there's one variant right now that was all they gave us a budget for, but I'm pretty sure that sold out, and there's a second variant now.
I'm seeing a citrus eco.
Yeah, there's like a gold one. Is it like pretty gold?
Yeah.
Okay, then there's probably like max like 5 or 10 of those left. And then there'll be a few more variants, I think, that maybe we'll take on tour. Maybe they'll be there, but I think the citrus one, that gold one we were doing, is like, this is the first. It's like the gold, and it comes with like dice and stickers and stuff like that. It's like a pre-order thing. We also got the CDs, which I haven't even checked out yet.
Yeah, I see there's a t-shirt pre-order as well.
Look at this. I literally just unwrapped this like 5 minutes before we get on the call.
You guys are sold out of smalls on the pre-order for the t-shirt.
Oh, that's so funny, because everything I have in my basement for our merch leftovers is only smalls.
That's so funny. I guess
like small and medium. Right? So we put it online, and everyone's like, "Where's the larges?" I'm like, "I don't know, sold out."
Looks like you're gonna have to do a sponsored post on Facebook. Do you wear a small? If so,
do you wear a small? You would love this shirt.
We need to move it $5. Okay. So, are you guys planning on like releasing any sort of fall merch drop or stuff to kind of celebrate the album some more? Or?
Yeah, dude. It's been a lot more work than I think we anticipated, as far as how small our team is.
Yeah.
Especially with our drummer and my brother Griffith dropping out. There's 3 of us who work full-time jobs, and our manager.
Yeah.
Manages, I don't know, however many other bands. And so, yes, we design our own merch. We run our own website. We ship our own merch. We do everything without help, except for like some of the label stuff, right? Like hosting the vinyl and things like that. But we film our own videos, and it's just so much that goes into being a band that at this weird sort of like not big, but like almost popular kind of
on the cusp.
Yeah, we're right on the cusp, and it's like flipping your life to like, this isn't a side project, this is the main thing.
Yeah.
And reorienting time to do that. And but yes, we will have a merch drop. We'll have 2 merch drops. We're gonna have some exclusive items. We're gonna have some exclusive like skate decks, which are gonna be very cool. We are in talks to do like some really cool items on our, I guess I can say it because I'm pretty sure it's actually confirmed, our headliner that we're doing in the fall. We're doing a headlining tour. And the main thing that we wanted to push for that was like, dude, we just gotta have like cool merch. Like, I don't want to have like 5 t-shirts and 2 hoodies. You know what I mean? So I really think we're gonna have some cool stuff. We've talked about like shaker bottles.
But like with the name, I feel like it really lends itself to like a lot of cool stuff, like kind of like the welcome to t-shirts where it's like a kind of a 3D print out. You have like the city in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, the world champs knockoff, like the Chicago Bulls t-shirts from the 90s.
Yes, dude, right.
Stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. So I think there's a ton of stuff. And we did one of those, right? Like we did a Nuggets one when we won.
Yeah.
We did a Nuggets rip. And we're getting asked that question a lot. Like, oh, you guys from Fox Lake? And it's like, no, but we realize the town exists, but yeah, dude, I think we're going to have a lot of cool items and merch, for the fall and winter. And like, we're just really trying to be different. Like, I know people have t-shirts. I know people like those things. We'll have those. But like,
mascot.
Do you want, yeah, dude, like
a ripped out, like a ripped out Fox mascot.
Yes. Oh, a furry,
like just like a full Fox Lake, like ripped out, like college sports logo, like the Fox Lake Foxes or the Fox Lake.
We talked about like little okay, so we just went to Japan. I wonder if I might. Yeah, I do. So like they have like on all their side bags, they have these like
the Labubu thing there.
Yeah, dude, they're just my little guys, and I got like a few on my bag here, like. Yeah.
Oh my god, those things sell like hotcakes.
Yes, they do, and they're incredible, and everybody likes them. And I don't care how tough you are, little guys are awesome. Like just little guys,
Yeah.
Like, so we thought about doing some of those. That's like the skull on the album, like.
Or the foxtails.
We just want to do something. We just want to be different. You know what I mean? I think the scene is starting to get more, as crowded as it was kind of in like 2016, 17. And like what makes us stand out over the music. And I think so much of that is like what we can offer fans. And again, not like we're Spirit Box or somebody that's like this huge band. But like what the people who do follow us, we always think about like what can we offer them where they feel like they're part of a community,
Oh, dude, thank me later. But Fox Lake pool noodles, print to order, super cheap. Everyone can have it in the pit.
That's incredible. That's an incredible idea.
Because I brought this up in a recent episode, like the Acacia Strain. They played Worcester with The Ghost Inside, like on their comeback show. Pool noodles everywhere.
Really?
Dude, it was awesome.
That's incredible. We've talked about flags because, like, you see like festivals and everybody's waving flags.
What about those like clicking fans?
Like, selling wall flags is cool, but they're all folded up. Like, what if we sold like flags? You know what I mean? Like, so we're always thinking about that stuff.
Fox Lake like camp flags, like
yes,
like the welcome to like so and so camp or camp right. Fox Lake, dude.
We talked about welcome to Fox Lake welcome mats.
Ooh, okay, yeah. So really, the name is like
I was like, I would never buy nobody's ever gonna buy a welcome mat. You know what I mean? Like,
you'd say that, but like again, how many people would buy a pool noodle?
Also, people would say like
none, but
like for like cassettes. I'm like,
yeah,
I know they're back. They're kind of coming back in, but like I would never think of the amount of people who asked me for cassettes. I was like, I guess if we had them, I guess we'd sell a bunch. I don't know,
Right, and like my thing is like I'm wondering like right now, what is the bulk order cost of doing like inflatable beach balls?
Like, it can't be much, but you have to blow them up.
I know. So merch. Well, shoot, you're on merch, aren't you?
Yeah.
Who's TMing? Just make TM do it.
There you go.
Yeah. Like, okay, you get like 50 a night, and they sell them for $2 a pop. Boom.
Mm-hmm. The latest thing we did like that was bandanas.
Yeah.
And we saw some people, wearing them. We saw some people doing this. We saw some girls wearing it on their head. And we were like, dude, we'll sell, like, we want something that people can come up and be like, you paid to get in. Ticket prices are nuts. You paid to park. You paid for beer, like whatever. Like, just something, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not like $30 for a t-shirt. And so the bandanas felt like a good one for us. And we sold them for like $5.
Yeah, but okay, yeah. So the album drops in a few weeks. There is limited pre-orders online through MNRK.
Once those sell out, there will be another. I guess I don't think we've announced this, but like once those sell out, there will be another variant.
Okay.
And then when the album drops, at some point, there's going to be multiple variants.
So metal and core collectors get on it.
Yeah, and I think we told them to put it up for like as cheap as possible, so we don't profit like at all from it. Because we were like, we just want people to get it. Like,
yeah, just other than
especially if they want like multiple ones.
Yeah. Which if someone's gonna do that, you kind of want to, because I mean, Silent Planet's the same way, where you have like, someone who has every single variant of this album,
right? Which I think is cool. So I was like, put it up for like as cheap as possible, and we were like, we'll forego the payments, and like we want people to get the variants they want, and any collectors, like I want to make it, I want to make it just. Dude, it's just all about the fans. Like, I'm such a fan of other bands, and like, I think all of us in the band, like, like, just for anybody listening, like, dude, we are fans of other bands, and we just feel like fans.
Yep.
We feel like fans, like, kind of living the dream, because, and like everything we do is so fan oriented. Of like, when people ask us to come over and over to the UK, we're pushing our agent. Like, we'll email our agent and be like, we got more comments today. You know what I mean? Like, whatever the fans want, like, we really want to, that's what we want to do, Like, we don't view ourselves as any better than anybody else. Like, Spirit World, dude, if Spirit World dropped 3 variants of a record, I'd buy all 3. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, and that's what makes you guys fit in with Atom Splitter. Hold on to that PR company as long as you can. Because Amy is like, I don't know.
And you met Amy in New York. Yeah, she's so nice. Yeah.
Well, and the thing is, like, the thing I take away from her is that it's cool to be a fan. Like,
it is, dude.
It is cool to be a fan and mark out for bands. Like, that will never get old. And she's an OG. Like, she's done everything.
Yes, dude, her resume is crazy. Also, I've tweeted this before on my personal page and on the Fox Lake page, is like, especially Twitter, it's like all negative things get headlines, and that's just the news cycle we're in. But like, dude, it's cool to like things.
Yeah, dude, it's super cool. And like,
it's cool to like things. Whatever you like, that's cool. That adds depth. And that adds personality to you. And like, fuck what anybody else thinks. Like, dude, it's cool to like things. It's cool. Like, do I think it's like the most badass thing that I'm like the vocalist of this band, but I love Dave Brubeck and jazz? No, but I like it, and I don't care what people think. You know what I mean? Like what you like, dude. Like,
yeah, man. Yeah, the whole roster is just goated.
So much like negativity around liking this band or whatever. Dude, if everybody in the world loves Sleep Token's music, like Sleep Token. Great for you, great for them. You know what I mean? No losers here.
People got to eat, man.
Yeah, and if everybody in the world ends up liking Fox Lake, like, I'm not going to complain.
I mean, your students might. I mean, because you're not going to be hanging with him very much.
You're right. They're gonna be like, what happened to my music education? I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm a rock star.
Yeah, you might have to start culling down the load there.
It's definitely already started to happen. But I'm in this right now of building like a website where I can teach like more on the road without just like text communication.
Calendly or whatever.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I've looked into a bunch of things. But when I'm on the road, if anybody listening wants to take like some songwriting or vocal lessons, piano.
Yeah. But yeah, you're online mainly through your own socials or Fox Lake or.
I run a lot of the Fox Lake socials, but yeah, also my own. I just have never been a social media guy. Like,
yeah, which is great. It's a great problem to have.
Dude, it's so much more interesting to me to do like literally anything else. I've never been a doom scroller or whatever, and I feel like maybe at this point that sounds like pretentious, but I just
no. Just
care.
hold on to that as long as you can.
Dude, I feel no obligation to like broadcast my life to like anybody who wants to follow me. You know, like
if you don't have the curse, don't worry about it. You're good. Like don't.
Yeah, but then every the labels like you have to post more, you have to have more followers. So I've tried to be like on social media as running the Fox Lake page, which has made my personal page like non-existent. But yeah, just follow Fox Lake on Instagram or TikTok or whatever.
That's what's up. People can say what's up in their DMs or comments, and yeah, new album drops in a few weeks. Definitely run those numbers up.
Did you get a chance to listen to it? Did you get
yeah, I've been jamming for a few weeks. Yeah, shout out to Tori.
What do you think,
dude? It's like I said, it's a continuation of Fear and Loathing. It takes everything that kind of works and then just cranks up the production on it.
It would be hilarious if you were like, dude, I think this album blows.
Tori would kick my ass so much.
Like, well, if you think that, I would want you to tell me.
Tori would be like, yeah, I'm never, ever, ever giving you anything ever again.
I don't know. Tori's amazing. But yeah, I always try to like make that a point of like, sorry, my dog is like, really she's like, goodbye. I really make that a point to like ask people like, what did you actually think? Like, I think there's so much glazing that goes on, and like, I'm like, I don't know.
No, I
like,
hear that.
You know what I mean? Like, if you were like, I don't know, I thought it was kind of like cringe or something, I'd be like, okay, let's talk about it. Like, I want to hear, like,
yeah. But you and I both have so much time. We got to put in work. I mean, I outline things. I look into things here and there. There's not enough time in the world to just chat with people that I'm not vibing with. It's like, yeah,
right.
It'll take time to edit this and just get it up. It's like, damn, I'm talking to someone that I don't even like their music. That's so sad.
Yeah, that's.
No, I hear you though.
That would be brutal. I hear that.
Yeah,
I hear that.
But
yeah,
no, I mean it'll be cool though. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what you guys do from here on out. I mean, numbers look great. Hopefully, where we at? Cold Hard Truth is almost at 500,000. We're at 406.
Yeah, we're hearing that like almost every other day. Is like radio, is Sirius XM streams, and
okay, yeah. Shout out to them.
Everything is looking great, and they're just like, the label's like, you have to post on social media, and we're like, I don't know, I'm just at home, bro.
TikTok can be your thing, man, where you're just like doing kind of like vocal run-throughs of stuff.
Yeah, we tried to do like guitar playthroughs. That's the next thing we're trying to get.
I would do that. I would do that.
We wanted to do this, or like this riff comes kind of from this idea of this Rage Against the Machine song or whatever.
Yeah.
So
if you're looking for like people that really, really understand and enjoy social content, the Home Team. Talk to the Home Team about like.
Dude, yes, they are crushing. They're crushing.
Yeah, give them a shout and see like what you can kind of learn from that team. Like they really get that.
For sure.
Cool.
Dude, and if we're ever anywhere near you, hit me up personally or whatever, and I would love to hang out at a show, dude. We'll talk more like Project 86 and like solid state stuff.
Dude, for sure. All right, dude. I will tag all the relevant accounts. I'll have a few different clips brewing, but yeah, I'm hoping that my side of the video actually recorded and not just you, but we'll see.
Oh, I hope so too. It
I hope so
says
too.
99% uploading.
Yeah, it'll upload and like after
Maybe that's
we're done.
when we end.
Yeah, give me 1 second here.